What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Oak Tree Football channel. Like you probably know, the first round of the draft just recently happened, and we saw some really good picks, but we also saw some really bad picks. In this video, I'm going to be ranking the picks based on the player's value, the value of the picks, the player's talent, and how they fit the scheme for every team. Now let's get right into it. At number 32, I have the Seahawks taking Jordyn Brooks. In my opinion, the worst pick in the first round this year was the Seahawks taking Jordyn Brooks. In my mock, I had Brooks as a third-round pick, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was a second, but a first? This pick doesn't make much sense, especially with also linebacker Patrick Queen still on the board. Next is the Raiders taking Damon Arnette. There were many better cornerbacks than Arnette at this point in the draft, and some I think would have fit better with the Raiders. Apparently, they wanted to trade down and then get him later, but nobody wanted to trade. And if they had traded down and still got him, I think it would have been a better pick. But I still think they should have gotten a better cornerback to help the Raiders' chances. Number 30, I have the Dolphins getting tackle Austin Jackson at pick 18. I don't necessarily think Austin Jackson's a bad tackle. I just think based on value, this was a reach. At 29, I also have a Dolphins player in Noah IGBINOGHENE. I really like IGBINOGHENE, and I think he was drafted in the right area. The only reason I have him at number 29 is the Dolphins didn't need a cornerback. They already had Byron Jones. They signed Byron Jones, and they already had Xavier Howard. There were lots of positions they needed more, including running back, where they could have taken someone like DeAndre Swift or Clyde Edwards-HELAIRE because he wasn't off the board at that point. So IGBINOGHENE isn't a bad player. This just doesn't make sense for the Dolphins roster. 28, I have the Falcons taking A.J. Terrell at pick number 16. I think it makes sense that the Falcons took a cornerback, but A.J. Terrell didn't make much sense to me. I thought if he was going to be a first rounder, he should be later in the first round. Definitely not number 16. So that's why I have him here, just based on the value of the pick. Number 27, I have Justin Herbert. Some people may think that this is like a bit low, but I don't think so because Herbert does not look like he will be able to be a good NFL player, and getting him at 6 is not good value. It's just really not a good pick, and that's why I have Herbert at 27. 26, I have the Saints taking CESAR RUIZ. The reason I have him here is because the Saints drafted a center last year. I know they're probably going to move him to guard, but still, it doesn't make much sense, especially with some of the other positions they could have used, like with Patrick Queen still on the board, stuff like that. They could have used wide receiver maybe as well. That's why this pick didn't make much sense. 25, I have the Titans taking Isaiah Wilson, the tackle from Georgia. This wasn't too bad of a pick. The Titans needed tackle. I just don't think Isaiah Wilson was the best one. I mean, it's an okay pick, but it could have been a lot better. 24, I have the Vikings taking Jeff Gladney. I definitely think it was good that they got a cornerback. I just don't know if Gladney was the best option. I think there was definitely some better options, but I think Gladney is better than like A.J. Terrell or Damon Arnette, who were drafted before him. But still, I think Gladney isn't the best player. But yeah. Anyway, 23. I have the Giants at number 4 overall taking Andrew Thomas. I am not saying Andrew Thomas is a bad player. I'm just saying there were better players they could have taken than Andrew Thomas at the same position. I don't really know what Dave Gettleman was thinking, except maybe that Andrew Thomas would have been the best fit for their team. But I don't know. I mean, Nate Solder led in like 12 sacks last season, so I think that's where they're going to put him. But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with them taking a tackle with this pick. I just think they should have taken one of the better ones because most people would agree with me that Andrew Thomas is not the best tackle in this class. Next at 22, I have the Chargers taking Kenneth Murray. I really don't think this was a bad pick. The only reason I have him here is because, first of all, maybe they could have used offensive line more than linebacker, but linebacker was still a position of need. But the other reason is because I think Patrick Queen would have been better. Patrick Queen is really, really good linebacker. I think it would have been better if the Chargers took him, but Kenneth Murray is still good. You could convince me into moving him up on this list, but 21, I have the 49ers trading up to get Brandon Ayuk. I think if the 49ers had stayed where they were, this would have been a fine pick. I just don't really understand why they traded up. I really like Ayuk. I don't like him as much as some of the other receivers, but I do like him coming out of Arizona State. So I think he'll be fun to watch in the 49ers offense next season. Pick 20, C.J. Henderson going to the Jaguars at 9th overall. This is a bit low for Henderson. I think he could be a lot higher. Henderson is a very good cornerback, and he was by far the second best in the class, in my opinion. But I think it would have been a better pick if the Jaguars had traded down maybe 3 spots, got some more draft capital, and then still taken C.J. Henderson. This was not a bad pick. C.J. Henderson is a very, very good corner, and the Jags should be happy to get him. I just think they could have maybe gotten some more, draft value and stuff if they traded down. At 19, I have Henry Ruggs going to the Raiders. I really, really did not like this pick. I did not like how the Raiders drafted, because Henry Ruggs was not the best receiver in this draft, and he was not the second best receiver either. And some people might even make an argument that he's not the third best receiver in the class. So, especially that he was the first taken, I think if they wanted to take Henry Ruggs, they should have traded down, because, Henry Ruggs should not have been the first receiver off the board, in my opinion. I mean, he's not just a speed person. Some people think he's just speed. He's not just speed. He's very talented all over, but I don't think he's a wide receiver 1 like Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb could have been. That's why I have him at 19. 18, I have Javon Kinlaw. This was really good. Well, it wasn't a very good pick for the 49ers, but the reason I have him at 18 is because they traded away DeForest Buckner to get pick number 13, and then they traded down 1 spot from there. But then with the pick, they took his replacement in Javon Kinlaw, which it was a cat move, realistically. They did not do that because they didn't like DeForest Buckner. They did that so they could free up cap space. I think they should have, honestly, I think they should have traded down more than just 1 spot, because I think Kinlaw would have been available a bit later. So that's why I have him at 18, just because it wasn't really just getting rid of DeForest Buckner and then bring him in as a replacement. 17, I have the Eagles getting Jalen Reagor. I'm a huge fan of Jalen Reagor, and I'm a fan of the Eagles, so I'm really happy that this move happened. But I think the Eagles should have traded up, honestly, to pick 16 to stop the Cowboys from getting a receiver. But still, I'm not mad with Jalen Reagor. Reagor's not a bad player. It just could have been better. 16, Justin Jefferson, a player who potentially could have been better for the Eagles. The Vikings getting him at 22 was a very good pick for them. Justin Jefferson, he is very underrated. I think he might be better than Henry Ruggs. But he's definitely better than most receivers in this draft. The only ones that are really better than him are CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. Those are the only ones that are definitely better. But Justin Jefferson was a great pick for the Vikings. 15, I have Clyde Edwards-HELAIRE. This pick was really a steal that the Chiefs got him at 32, in my opinion. Edwards-HELAIRE is the best running back in the draft, and he's really going to do well in Kansas City. He really fits their scheme. The Chiefs' offense is going to be so exciting to watch next year with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and now Edwards-HELAIRE. 14, I have Jordan Love. This is a lot higher than most people would think, but this is because I think Jordan Love can be a great NFL quarterback. I'll have a video coming out in a few days where I rank how I think the quarterbacks can do in their careers. But yeah, so I think Jordan Love actually can have a very, very good career. And I think this was a really, really good pick by the Packers, especially because Jordan Love got drafted into the perfect spot. I said this in my reaction video of the draft, but he's drafted in the perfect spot, being able to learn from Aaron Rodgers for a season or two, maybe even 3, before he gets to actually have some playing time. So that's why I have him at 14. Next, I have the Jets taking Mekhi Becton. This wasn't a bad pick. Mekhi Becton's a very talented offensive tackle. The Jets needed tackle. I just think they should have gotten a receiver because they had their choice of Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb. But this is still a good pick because they really need to protect Sam Darnold. 12, I have Tristan Wirfs going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This was a really good pick by them that they were at pick 14. They traded up to 13, but they're still able to get one of the best offensive linemen in the draft. That was a great pick for them. 11, Derrick Brown got taken by the Panthers. I have him at 11. The only reason I have him at 11 is because I think the Panthers would have been better off if they had taken Isaiah Simmons. That's the only reason I have him at 11. Derrick Brown is still a great player, and he will still be really good for the Panthers. I just think it would have been better if they had taken Simmons. At number 10, I have Tua Tagovailoa. The only reason I have him at 10 and not higher is because of the injuries. But the Dolphins didn't have to trade up, still were able to get their quarterback of the future. They just have to hope that he doesn't get injured. But that's why I have him at 10. 9, I have Jerry Jeudy. This was a really good pick by the Broncos. I think they should have taken CeeDee Lamb, but Jerry Jeudy was still a great pick. He should fit well with the Broncos. Now with Drew Lock, of course. He'll be one of Drew Lock's favorite targets. I think. I think he'll have a really good rookie season, and I think he'll be a really good player, I expect, in the NFL. 8, I have Jeff Okudah. For the Lions, being able to draft Okudah and filling probably their biggest need is a great pick. I still think they should have traded down, but they didn't get any offers, so but Okudah is a great player. He's by far the best cornerback in the class. He's the second or third best defensive player in the draft if you think Simmons is better or Okudah is better, but he's still an unbelievable player, and the Lions will be so happy to get him. Pick number 7, K'Lavon Chaisson, going to the Jaguars. The only reason I have him above Okudah is because of the value for that pick. He was taken 20th overall, which was, I think, a steal because Chaisson, honestly, I could have seen, his value should have been, 9th, really, where the Jaguars had their other pick, and then he somehow slid all the way down to 20 when they picked the second time. I was really surprised by that, but the Jaguars will be very happy. He's a guy that they can really try to build their defense around. And who knows, maybe Jacksonville's defense can be back sometime soon. Jacksonville drafted so well this draft, I think. I know I had C.J. Henderson lower, but still, it was a really good first round by them. At number 6, I have the Cardinals getting Isaiah Simmons. This wasn't the biggest position of need for the Cardinals, but they couldn't resist on taking him. That he fell to them was really surprising. This was an easy pick for the Cardinals. So now we get into the top 5. At 5, I have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was one of the best players in this in this draft, and it was just hard to keep him out of the top 5, really. The Bengals are going to be so happy to get him. He will be a day 1 starter. He will play week 1. I am sure of that. And, like, really, he could be good. Right now, he's probably the favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, just because he's a quarterback, first of all, but also the situation he's in with the receivers and stuff. That was a really good pick by them. For CeeDee Lamb falling to pick 17 was an absolute steal. I could also have had CeeDee Lamb possibly at number 1 on this list. The reason I have him at 4 is because wide receiver was not the biggest need for the Cowboys. But they did a great job of, stealing him from the Eagles. I would have been so surprised if he fell to the Eagles. And it looked like he was going to, but the Cowboys did a great job of just stealing him from them. Lamb, in my opinion, is the best receiver in the draft. He's very talented, and adding him into the already solid Cowboys receiver mix will be very good. And now top 3. 3, I have Chase Young. Like I said about Joe Burrow, it's just hard to keep him out of the top 5. In my opinion, Chase Young is the best player in the draft. He's an absolute monster, and he will make an immediate impact for Washington this season. I'm sure of that. Now, the final 2, at 2, I have Jedrick Wills, actually, going to the Browns. The reason I have him here is because the Browns really, really need to protect Baker, and I think Wills is the best offensive tackle in the draft, and to be able to get him at number 10 is really, really good. So that's why I have him there. And then number 1, I have Patrick Queen going to the Baltimore Ravens. The only reason I have him is because Patrick Queen, in my opinion, is the second best linebacker in the draft. I think he's around like the 15th best player in the draft. And that they got him at pick 28 is unbelievable. That is one of the biggest steals of the draft. And that is why I have him at my number 1. So that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.